Crap. Alright, so this is going to be kind of the second video I recorded today, but I'm not entirely confident this project will be done today. If you haven't already figured it out, today's NetherWeb episode should be dedicated to at least finishing the aesthetic part of the end hub. Obviously, all of this wiring will be a project slash stream for another day. In fact, I believe that most of this down here isn't even functional. I haven't double checked any of this. I should probably do that, do a little bit of research, but at least the aesthetic I want to get done. So I've got Iron and Golby and LaFlossie kind of muted in Discord right now, who are going to help me work on this. So we should at least make good headway. I've decided not to stream this, at least initially, but if I end up changing my mind, then you guys might get a stream from this. I don't know, but as for now, let's start the project. So first and foremost, LaFlossie is rigging the portal so that it goes straight into the end, because apparently that's faster. I don't know. I didn't... whatever. So anyway, that's not really time sensitive, but no, he just got smacked. So we're actually gathering all the materials right now. In fact, we split up so that Iron is grabbing a lot of the different materials that will be needed for the build. Golby bust over pretty much everything we use for the Mesa hub. A lot of this stuff won't be used twice. Like, I'm pretty sure we won't need a lot of the hardened clay in here because it's a different aesthetic, as you guys just saw. But some of it might become useful. And a lot of the stuff around here is actually completely unnecessary. So we've passed around a schematic, which I haven't preloaded, but we should be able to get a lot of this out of the way. And I'm not going to be recording too many bits along the way. I just kind of want to show you guys the introduction, the material gathering, and hopefully the next clip should be at least a little bit of progress. Alright, I have progress to report. Oh, geez. The easiest thing I've been doing is actually turning on printer mode and just kind of going around here, removing the blocks that don't need to be here, and then placing the ones that do. So I'm starting with like the most used blocks. In fact, I haven't actually checked the materials list, but I figured bricks would be, yeah, pretty high up there on the list actually. It looks like bricks are the most used, other than ice. So I've actually been going around with brick blocks and just kind of printing in kind of the basic outline, because I figured we should go from a most to least situation. So this is a perfect example of where I've just kind of taken an area like this tunnel here, gone around with printer mode enable, and I've just been placing the bricks into place, and that's making this whole project quite a lot easier. And I'm sort of removing stuff as we go, because there are a lot of areas exactly like this, because this whole project was started, I think, once, maybe even twice, where they actually removed the old one and then started a new build. Both times, this entire area wasn't even finished. Mason was not happy about that. He's the one who designed this whole area. So we actually have, let me remove printer, a whole lot of areas like this where it's just completely purple, meaning that it doesn't need to be there, but it's not replacing a block. And so I'm just going to rip out all of these. I might even set up a haste beacon just to make this go by a little bit quicker. And then after I salvage a lot of these materials, we should be in a pretty good situation. But remember back in the day when we mined about 100,000 pieces of clay? Yeah, really glad we did that right about now, because we definitely need the bricks.
Oh, bad guys to kill.
Alright, well, it's the next day, and it's time to play some Minecraft. I'm taking an interesting approach with this. I'm actually going from the bottom up. Yeah, who would have thought? But there's a lot of netherrack under here. Pretty much none of it belongs, I think. In fact, I think all of this needs to go. And it's just kind of in my way, and it's making the schematic a little bit hard to read. So I'm going to get this out of the way, and hopefully we can grind out some of this project today. But I didn't want to be distracted by anybody else, so back to my movie.
The meme.
I don't know the meme. But also, Deadpool is pretty good. Shortly after we showed Iron Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What'd you think of that, Iron?
That was really good.
We just finished watching The Accountant. That's a thing me and Iron have been doing recently, just watching movies together. There's a polar bear.
What?
There's a polar bear in the Octagon Netherweb. So the reason I'm recording this is it is actually the day after the clip you guys just saw. I haven't recorded much, and I can only really thank Golby for pretty much everything you see here. I think he's gotten a lot of help. I honestly can't think of everybody involved. I'm sorry, but it's been fantastic. In fact, we even streamed, and it's really fitting that Sam is calling me right this second on my phone because we streamed to Sam. You know, I saw The Foreigner yesterday. It was a pretty not great movie. I give it like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. You can watch it if you want. I don't know. I'm not partial to it. It wasn't fantastic, but yeah, I don't know. We saw it, and that kind of you know, the stream got a little bit of progress done in this area. In fact, I was working mostly below, so if I can jump through this ice in a second here, I can show you guys what I've been doing. All of this wiring is kind of a false here. You can see that all of this wiring, I'm going to save you the schematic of nonsense, but basically everything you see here is built down one block. Or no, scratch that. It's built up one block. I think in some of the original schematics that these guys worked on, it was just down a block, and there are a couple interesting details, like I believe the piston bolt over here. The pistons are up a block higher than they need to be, or somewhere around here. I can't actually find it, but you can trust me when I say that the pistons don't seem to be on like the correct levels. Yeah, I believe it's here, where it says that these are purple and they don't need to be there because the pistons are supposed to be down a block, but it's like, yeah, they're supposed to be over here. So there are a couple things off with this schematic. I believe these pistons are actually, yeah, they're all supposed to be on the same level. You can see this is kind of universal across all of the piston bolts in the nether web. They kind of need to be on the same level. They don't need to be. I mean, there are a few tweaks I can make here and there, but you want them to be somewhat similar. And Gulby has been going ham. In fact, he took down the scaffolding, which leads me to believe that, yeah, judging by the schematic, there are only really a few touch-up blocks. I mean, like nothing over here. He was very thorough. All these trapdoors need to be powered to stay on. In fact, there's actually some wiring in the schematic, and that's just so they stay up. And this whole thing really does look fantastic. I mean, it's already functional. Like the room already looks really nice. The portal over here, everything looks nice because we got the end portal and the tree farm portal. So one of the things a lot of us don't actually talk about this hub, in fact, everybody just refers to it as the end hub, is that it's actually the hub for the tree farms as well. So if you don't know this about Minerva, we actually have a universal tree farm that we built ages ago. Oh my god, it was like, I think 4 or 5 days into the server, I set up a universal tree farm in the same episode that we killed the Ender Dragon. So if you want to watch that, I'm sure that it's already been linked up here at some point, or in this, it's definitely in the description. So it's a pretty good episode, if old. You know, it's a little bit dated, but you know, it's the same me, same Minerva, different members. It's been a long time. And if you also don't know this, right above this thing, if I can just fly up real quick here. All right, one more try. This is it. Let's just fly up. Is the Dark Oak Farm. It's actually right upstairs. If any of you guys have seen my episodes before, it's about to click like, oh, that's where that is. So if I step outside here, you can see that our Dark Oak Farm, whoosh, is a windmill. And if I timed it right, then it should have just recommended another video up here with a video titled exactly that, because this Dark Oak Farm has gone through quite a few renovations, and it's a pretty cool project on Minerva. But yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing about the end hub, is it's also the tree farm hub. So yeah, as you guys saw it over there, it's actually split into 2 portals with kind of a broken down portal in the middle, and you'll be able to see that in a second when I walk through here. And it looks really, really nice. In fact, the portal to the tree farms have actually been so difficult to get to for so long that I just fly there in the overworld, and that's been kind of my way to get there. But I've never done that. So this is supposed to be a broken down structure. There's a lot of red blocks below here. It's not quite done, but it's supposed to look like the main portal that we have in between every hub. In fact, if I fly over to this one, you can see that we have a quad portal right here. These all lead to the storage room, and we wanted to keep up that same theme, but since these portals are split, it's kind of like cracked and broken in the middle. And one thing LaFlossie wanted to do that he was unsuccessful in doing thus far. Oh, actually, I see an egg up there. Maybe this is already done. If this works properly, it should put me a block below the portal and straight into the end. So there you go. I was actually pretty mad about this at first because I remember these egg portals requiring you to break something about the return portal to the end or something like that, but after he kind of talked me down a little bit, a little bit of a tantrum, he made me realize that that's not actually the case. So I do agree with the fact that our end portal in the nether, like the portal to get to the end in the nether, you go through that and it brings you straight into the end, and I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you aren't quite able to access the end portal by going through that portal, so it's kind of annoying if you need to do anything with that portal frame without going to the end. However, as I'm talking, I'll fly over there for any Minerva members who might be curious. You guys saw that the 2 portals in the nether were pretty close to each other, so you can actually get to that end portal from the entrance on the outside pretty easily. And yeah, so this is definitely one of those recap videos where we got the hub. I'm going to fly to the end here, but give you guys one more kind of overview because it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm really proud of Mason and everything that he was able to accomplish with it. So there you go. You can see RTK actually made it nice and pretty, actually. I never knew he did this up here. You almost never see it. But you can actually hop in from above and see what we got here. So LaFlossie just disabled the old portal, and this one's just kind of chilling up here. And it actually doesn't even make this room look that bad, if you ask me. So I'm pretty happy about this in the end. It wasn't at first, but I've warmed up to it because it's definitely more efficient to go straight through the portal and then you just pop out at the end. Like that, you don't have to run the extra distance. It's kind of nice. So yeah, let's head back for our final view. Iron's actually been nice and quiet in this chat. Me and him are in a one-on-one voice call because we're probably going to hop right back into another movie, but I told myself I should probably finish up the end of this video before I spend another 2 hours kind of delaying it. And
I want to be a dick and talk in the middle of it.
yeah, so props to him for not wanting to be a dick, as he puts it. So, yeah, just the kind of the final look. This is definitely not done. I mean, oh, my night vision went away. Yeah, I play with night vision every once in a while just because it's so much nicer for me. It doesn't really affect the gameplay, and it makes the videos and streams more fun to watch when everything's not so gloomy all the time. In fact, I think my brightness is even maxed. I prefer it at 75 typically because it gives like a little bit more depth and contrast to the colors. But in the Nether, it just gets super dark. So, personal preference, not a big deal. Yeah, so here's the final look at the end, now that it's all dark. I mean, this is kind of how you'd normally see it anyway, but I really like this. I really like the ice, and the wood at the top is not super obvious. There probably should be a few leaves around here. In fact, I think there are supposed to be a lot of leaves up there. And the ice, because of the nether web, is kind of supposed to be a cold, broken down sewer system type, except that there's not any of that going through here. And then the leaves and the emeralds kind of indicate obviously what this is about for a tree farm and the end. The end simplified by the emeralds because villager trading. We couldn't really think of a better, more outstandish block, but I think that'll look really nice, and that's all well and good. So, hope you guys enjoyed this kind of odd episode of Netherweb Day, what is it, 3 now? This was actually over the course of about 3 days, and it took a lot of work to get where we are. I mentioned that it's not done. We still have a lot of wiring to do under here, but you guys just don't know how much work this... In fact, Gulby pretty much ran himself into the ground doing as much as he did up here, because this is like one of the most annoying hubs I've ever built. This one and the Mesa were just incredible. I mean, props to Mesa, and it made it look great and all, but I had an entire inventory, as you see it here. Every one of these slots was filled with a unique block, and it still wasn't quite enough to do everything I needed to do in this hub. It doesn't look like much at first, but then you go into these specific spots and you realize there are multiple different types of stone. You got iron bars in places, stairs, you got buttons, you got carpets, slabs. If you go over here, you got different colors of hardened clay. You've got red sandstone and orange carpet. Lots of ice. Like, it's really a pain. And then he even mixed in a few prismarine blocks. Like I said, it looks good. Props to Mason, but it was a pain to build. And I think the end result is worth it. Obviously, like, we only have to build it once. So even if it takes us a few days or even a few weeks to build, we get to fly around it and enjoy it forever, for the rest of the world. People in the future get to enjoy it if ever the world gets released and we stop playing on it. Like, it's going to be a permanent structure, but kind of a pain to build. So definitely worth it in the end, and I'm happy how it turned out. At least this area is nice to run around in. Like, this is no longer like a broken down, half-finished hub. I mean, it's not finished, mind you, but it looks a lot better. And I'll probably continue to work on this off camera or in streams or whenever I have a chance. But yeah, it looks really good, and this is definitely enough progress to say that the end of this video is here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little recap. If you guys want a little bit more information on the construction of this, or you want to see a good time, we did stream a little bit of this, so you guys go check that out. That's it for me, and thanks for watching.